Hello there, Common Wolfram. In the first 2 episodes of Inside Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay, we've exclusively shared our internal ideas and detailed the great evolution from Breath of the Wild's open world, or if you prefer, open air. So in this episode, we will let those of you with the best ideas from episode 1 to see them conceptualized, and more importantly, get your well-deserved shoutouts. So if you want to have your idea in future episodes, then leave a like and subscribe, but most of all, comment your ideas down below this video. Also, we switched the orders of the layers inside Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay. Surface, underwater gameplay and exploration, suggested by Andrew Knowles and Scott Hancock. Breath of the Wild's open air is the best and most interactive open world environment compared to nearly any other past and present open world game. All thanks to a brilliant physics and chemistry engine and the combination of jumping, gliding and climbing. It is just that there was a major exception to this immersion, the water-based gameplay, which was worse than in, for instance, The Witcher 3, which was restricted to swinging on the surface with a stamina wheel, much like in the Wind Waker. The only other 3D Zelda game which up to Breath of the Wild said no to underwater gameplay. While this sequel is all about immersing ourselves within the 3 layers that man can explore on Earth. It is just that up to now, only land-based terrain has been confirmed to follow this rule, but breaking the boundary of the surface of the water remains. And with it, open for a long list of possibilities within all this unused ground floor. All part of the surface, but ironically only accessible up to this point on its surface. Yes, we could fish up metal crates from the bottom of the rivers, ponds and lakes with magnesis and Breath of the Wild. We could catch fish in multiple ways, but we couldn't reach the ground covered underneath the water. Right here, the Zelda team can do so much, from creating and reintroducing underwater-based enemies from Zelda's past, and more so creating new content which ties to side quests, classic minigames like classic fishing, or diving for rupees for a piece of heart and so on. Exploring the depths of the water surrounding Zora's domain, Lake Hylia, Zora and Regencia River, even the water modes surrounding Hyrule Castle. So many possibilities to create new locations in the sequel, but no greater than Hyrule's 4 seas. Faron, Necluda, Lanayru and Akkala. Since these limited areas, which can definitely be expanded, could so far only be traversed on a raft, which definitely deserves to be upgraded after 6 years of use, or an alternative boat or 2, like the ones we could only admire in Lorellan Village. So that is just the beginning, as the seas could hide big secrets underwater, such as drowned ships which would reveal more of Hyrule's history of trade, piracy and wars, but also treasure with potentially brand new armor and weapon sets, just like the Wind Waker's pirate ships of different kinds and a number of underground secrets, diving to shipwrecks, fighting octopuses once again, and hunting sharks and other monsters of the sea. Yes, a little bit like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And we could definitely benefit from the sailing mechanics from that game. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword have laid the groundwork for the parts of the map which we couldn't touch the ground of in Breath of the Wild. While with the Sheikah Shrines gone and the need for new activities and objectives, let us explore where we couldn't explore up to now and make the underwater into what it should always have been, a part of the open world. Throw in a new distant island with its own fishing town and fully seaside culture, and boom, Hyrule's waters will be one of the greatest upgrades. A place for exploration, fun and challenges. Either that or just make Lorellan a far more central hub to explore Hyrule's seas. Plus, we could also benefit from more seafood. Why am I saying that? As I am myself born and raised in a country filled with rivers, lakes and lengthy shores and seas filled with islands, and I know that the Zelda team can do better with the element of water than they did in Breath of the Wild, which was the opposite of Anakin's I don't like sand. I don't like water, it's wet, cold and it gets everywhere. Unused potential. That is what the sequels are for. And Japan, the homeland of the Zelda team, is filled with water from all different sides. But underwater is still a part of the surface layer, unlike the underground. And here I want to present an idea of mine, namely a hidden Zonai civilization with its own collection of weaponry, armor and side quests plus activities. Breath of the Wild's 8 surface provinces had distinct races in each of them. Garuda belongs to the Gerudo, Hebra belongs to the Rito, Central Hyrule to the Koroks and the Great Deku Tree, Eldin to the Korons, Akkala being a province of all races, Lanayru the Zora, Necluda to the Sheikah and Hylians, and Faron to the Hylians which might descend from the Zonai. What about the underground? Does it exclusively belong to the demon tribe? Not necessarily, as we have all seen how the still unnamed Zonai tribe carved by hand the rocks in the same style as they did in Farron, Thundra Plateau and Typhlo ruins. This was no doubt a complex civilization, both on the surface and underneath it, and with a proper network of tunnels as we envisioned in our Evolved Open World video, this concept is perfect. Especially if it would turn out that these underground Zonai are descendants of another shadow folk, the Twili. A split from the Sheikah tribe which went up against the Hylians and were banished for their activities to suffer in the Twilight Realm. If the Gerudo were given a second chance, then why not the Twili and then have the people of Midna with the powerful dark sorcery seal Ganondorf? I couldn't think of a more fitting scenario, either that or simply a tribe of courage that moved underground and when Ganondorf was defeated helped in placing the seal, and then on top of that also ended up sacrificing most or all of their people, all for the greater good. But what if, and I'm saying what if, some still live down there, and unbeknownst to us, there is a proper Zonai civilization in all three layers. Spirit Zonai in the sky, the descendants of the Zonai in Farron's Lorelin, and the actual still alive Zonai on the ground. Seriously, if I was the Zelda team and thinking about creating a tribe that connects it all, then I would definitely have done it this way, as sidelined people who had nothing to do with Breath of the Wild's main quest, but which became the best tribe in the sequel. With settlements on the surface which gains prominence, in the sky where the martyrs might have gone, and the ones who are still even deeper on the ground. Perhaps in even a proper underground city where we can shop, play minigames and do tons of different stuff. Seriously, I don't care whether we explore the depths of this layer as Link or Zelda. I just want to see more underground and in it both foes and friends. Demons of red and Zonai of green. Malice against spirits, and power against courage. Seriously, this is just too perfect. Nintendo and Zelda team, please give us a Zonai town with its own set of armor and weapons, side quests, minigames, and perhaps even a dungeon. I am so ready for that, as a Zonai city combined with minecarts as we detailed in episode 1 can make the underground so much fun that we will ultimately not even want to go up to the heavens. Or if you prefer, the sky. And as suggested by GFreak250, time bending with the hand between two time periods. In the E3 2021 teaser footage, it is clear that this is indeed a hand of time. We also know that the Master Sword is a gate of time when placed into its pedestal in Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, so it is quite fitting. And why am I saying this? Because outside of the Stasis Rune, Breath of the Wild did not have any time manipulation or time travel. Meanwhile, every past 3D Zelda game except once again the Wind Waker had some sort of time travel mechanic at certain points in their games. Even so, none of them were as genius and gameplay defining as Skyward Sword's timeshift stones, in Japanese space-time stones, which were used to activate and progress through Lanayru and its temples. After that game, we know that time bending can be a great puzzle creation tool both in the sky and on the existing surface, but that doesn't change the times we are in. It's as if there's still one feeling we're all sitting with, as of the upload date of this video regarding the sky, then it is emptiness. Outside of this one automaton, there's literally no one here. You can pretty much place the John Travolta meme and it will fit perfectly. Naturally, this could also be a cover of the spirits that moved here after passing on from the surface or underground. You know, a literal heaven. But what if this realm is just like Lanayru in Skyward Sword before activating the timeshift stones? Truly dead. Then we might have to not only use a timeshift or time-bending mechanic to activate certain temple and dungeon sections, but more interestingly, the inhabitants of this land. And who knows, it might even be both in this divine realm which might hide multiple secrets of both the present and past. Needless to say, this gameplay solution could also justify an overall smaller sky area when it comes to land than the surface, but in return we at least partially get to explore it in two different time periods. One of the dead in the present, with its spirits lingering around, and the other of the prime past. Yes, it is literally space-time stones, or if you prefer timeshift stones of Skyward Sword. But let me ask, what is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing, as this single mechanic made that game's Lanayru one of the best Zelda provinces of all time. And no, that isn't an exaggeration from my point of view. If the Sandsea can be topped in Breath of the Wild 2 Sky thanks to time shifting or time bending, either with the arm or by other means, then bring it on. This could easily take one of the best things in the Zelda franchise which it had to offer from 2011 and bring it up to the literal 11 in the sky. There's just so much gameplay potential that could be unleashed by bringing back this one mechanic that has not aged a single day since we first activated the timeshift stone to activate the ancient robots and turn the dry ground green, lush and humid. As SpongeBob said, I need it! And I think we can all agree that this potentially divine layer deserves all the best mechanics that this series has to offer. And those are the gameplay concepts for the surface, underground and sky of this episode of Inside Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay. Got some better? Then share them in the comment section down below to be featured in episode 4. If you haven't already, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and press the notification bell to not miss any future episodes of this series, which will continue all the way until the release of the game with some specials like the previous open world one along the way. Last but not least, a great thanks to you for watching until the end and to all our patreon.com/CommonRoll patrons, and in particular Royal Producer Charles Shash for making all of this possible. You rock, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.